Drama that had people asking,
am I overreacting?
I have to ask myself that probably 10 times a day. The answer is usually yes. Am I overreacting for canceling my mom's Mother's Day dinner after she told my 10-year-old son he ruined her life? For context, I, 32 female, am a single mom to an amazing son, Liam, 10 male. His dad dipped when I was pregnant. I haven't heard someone say dipped in so long. Oh my God, we used to always say that. Like he dipped out of the party. His dad dipped when I was pregnant, and my mom, 56 female, was never exactly thrilled about me having kids so young. She was always kind of passive aggressive about it, but never outright cruel until now. I had been planning a nice Mother's Day dinner for her, like actually went all out, cleaned my apartment top to bottom, prepped her favorite lasagna from scratch, had Liam help me make a handmade card, and even bought flowers. And I'm so broke right now, so this wasn't easy. She came over around 5 p.m. All seemed fine. Then, during dinner, out of nowhere, she says, and I quote, "You know, if you hadn't had Liam, I could have retired already. I gave up so much because of your choices. He ruined everything." Liam just froze, like literally stopped chewing and looked down. I immediately told her, "That's completely out of line." She just shrugged and said, "Well, it's the truth. Someone had to say it." Did they though? Did someone have to say it? I told her she needed to leave. She tried to laugh it off like I was being dramatic, but I insisted. I didn't yell. I didn't curse. Just calmly asked her to pack her things and go. After she left, I comforted my son the best I could. He didn't cry, but I could tell it crushed him. Now, here's where I might be the a-hole. My siblings, I have 2 brothers and a sister, found out I canceled the rest of our Mother's Day plans. We were supposed to go to brunch the next day. They're calling me sensitive and saying I blew it out of proportion and that mom's just old school. But I don't care if she's from 1920. You don't say that to a child, especially not one who's literally never done anything but love her. So Reddit, am I overreacting for canceling the celebration and asking her to leave? Or am I just finally done letting her get away with emotional landmines? Can't say that I would have reacted calmly or nicely to that. That's a very rude and unnecessary thing to say, especially in front of the child you're speaking of. I think you set a boundary for yourself and you did what you had to do for yourself and your son. Not much else to it in my eyes. So if you're asking me, no, you're not overreacting and you're not an a-hole. Your siblings can still go to brunch with her. Oh, we have pictures. I need to pull up a folder. Am I overreacting for being upset my husband is spending money on cam girls? I, 30 female, have been married to R, 37 male, for close to 3 years, about a month away from our anniversary. Happy anniversary to you. We've been having a bit of a rough patch lately due to financial issues. He told me we can't afford to even do a date night once or twice a month right now due to a health issue that depleted our entire savings. He's always had an issue with cam girls, which is something we've discussed at length in counseling. We've had a couple problems because of it, and he always insists he doesn't spend money on them. Well, this morning I checked our joint account because I wanted to make sure we had enough for gas for my car, and I saw Google transactions. I checked my daughter's tablet to make sure she didn't buy anything and double checked my email. Then I checked my husband's like normal when I can't connect a purchase to anything I've made. That's when I saw these. I'm furious. We got some screenshots. Ooh, I love when the evidence is in my hands. All right, so May 15th, which is literally 4 days ago at the time that I'm recording this, some diamonds for $30.99. Don't know what that means. Then the next day, a VIP one-on-one, and it's a subscription for $9.99 a month. Girl, he subscribed. That's a monthly payment. He's getting VIP on the month. Oh, okay, well, I think there's bigger issues here outside of the money, but anyways. And then some more diamonds on May 16th for $30.99. Yup, sounds like you could have a date night with all that money. Anyways, continue. The tax breakdown and full total match the prices in our bank account. Approximately $75 spent on cam girls in 2 days. I don't know how often he's been doing it. We each also have separate accounts we use for our own expensive, like random wants or subscriptions for our respective gaming. But the joint account is for bills, rent, truck payments, etc. I've told him in counseling that if we can't afford to go on a date night once a month or order a frickin' pizza and have a date night at home, I didn't want him spending money on cam girls. He's done it before. And that's when he said he wasn't spending money on them and that he wouldn't disrespect me like that again. Okay, so you're aware though that he's watching cam girls and you're cool with that. So if that's the case, then I guess I need to be cool with that. I thought that might have been an issue, but that's your relationship, not mine. Our next appointment is on Wednesday, and I'm strongly considering showing these to our counselor and confronting him there. Would I be overreacting if I did that? Or should I confront him before and then bring it up in counseling? I mean, either way, it's being brought up. You can bring it up to him, but he already kind of said, I'm not spending money on them. But you already know that he is. So, I don't know. I don't think you're overreacting, and I don't know which one is the better option. It sounds like you've already asked him and he's already lied and said he's not spending the money. Itch. Am I overreacting for calling off my wedding after my fiance got drunk, put on my wedding dress, and had an accident in it? Am I about to read a story where your husband, fiance, tried on your wedding dress, got drunk in it, and then shit himself in your dress? Or peed? What's happening? This cannot be what's happening right now. All right, well, buckle up, everybody. This sounds completely ridiculous, but it really happened and I can't stop thinking about it. Some people are telling me I completely overreacted and I'm starting to question myself. I'm 28 and was supposed to get married last weekend to my fiance, Nick, who's 30. We've been together for 4 years. He's funny and a little impulsive, but I always thought he had good judgment. He drinks socially, but I've never seen him totally out of control until now. The night before our wedding, I stayed at home with my sister and 2 of my bridesmaids for a relaxed night. Nick went out with his groomsmen. I expected him to come home tipsy at most. At around 1:30 in the morning, he came home absolutely wasted, slurring, stumbling, sweaty. I was brushing my teeth when I heard him banging around in the guest room. When I went to check, I saw him dragging my wedding dress out of the closet. I asked what he was doing, and he just laughed and said he wanted to see how it felt to be the bride. I told him to put it back and not to touch it, but he was not listening at all. Oh, I'm immediately annoyed. I'm trying to put myself in this as if it was Matt. I'm annoyed. Try it on wasted after the wedding. I don't care. Go ahead, get drunk with your friends, try on my dress after. It's the next day. What if you ripped it? Anything could go wrong. Whether you're sober, I wouldn't even want you trying it on the night before. Right in front of me, he stripped down completely and started putting on the dress. He could barely get it over his body and kept tripping over the train. I didn't know what to say. Then he dropped to the floor in the dress, still laughing. Then he went quiet, looked up at me with his panicked face and said, "Oh no." A few seconds later, he had an accident. Diarrhea. I truly can't even take this seriously. This is so insane. It soaked through the back of the dress and onto the carpet. The smell was immediate and overwhelming. I stood there in shock while he started crying and tried to get out of the dress, which only made more of a mess. Oh my God, I'm starting to feel sick. It was all over the fabric, the floor, and him. I told him to get in the shower and I left. I drove straight to my mom's house and didn't take any of his calls. The next morning, I called off the wedding. Since then, Nick has apologized over and over. He said he blacked out and barely remembers what happened. His family is furious with me and says I'm throwing away a great relationship over a drunken mistake. Some of my friends agree and think I should have postponed instead of canceling. Even my maid of honor said I might be letting emotions take over and that it wasn't unforgivable. But I feel like something broke that night. I just feel disgusted. I feel disrespected. The dress wasn't just expensive, it was important to me. It symbolized something. I cannot unsee what happened. I can't laugh about it or move on like it's just one bad night. I don't know how to look at him the same way. Am I overreacting for calling off the wedding? Now we do have an update, but what are we feeling right now? Where are we at? Do you have a right to be absolutely annoyed, frustrated, angry, disgusted? Yeah. However, I personally don't think I would call off the wedding. You have no dress to wear tomorrow, so I understand postponing. But I've seen people black out before. So, I also have blacked out before back in my day and have done some very questionable things that will not be mentioned. I think I could be forgiving once I worked through my anger. Let's get to the update. Some people told me I was right to call it off. Others said it was a terrible mistake, but not unforgivable. Both sides helped me see the situation more clearly. I spoke to Nick this morning, not for closure, not for a big emotional talk, just to return some things and check in about logistics since everything has been canceled. But we ended up sitting down and talking for over an hour. He apologized again. Sincerely, he didn't try to defend himself or shift blame. He told me he didn't remember everything clearly, but knows he came home wasted, saw the dress, and in his words, thought it would be funny or meaningful or something. He did not mean to ruin the dress. He didn't mean to humiliate me, but he did, and he knows that. He said he's ashamed of what happened and how out of control he let himself get. He also admitted this wasn't the first time his drinking led to something bad. He said this was a wake-up call and that he's going to stop drinking entirely. I didn't even know he had a problem. The thing is, I still care about him. We were supposed to get married. I didn't walk away from someone I didn't love, but something inside me cracked that night and it hasn't healed. I don't know if it will. I know it sounds superficial to some people, but for me, it was a symbol of our future, of the person I thought I was marrying. And watching him defile it in that state, whether on purpose or by accident, changed something. I've been trying to figure out if that one night should be the end of our 4 years together, but it's not really just that one night, is it? Is it? It's what it revealed about how he handles stress, about how far he let himself go, about how I felt standing in that room watching someone I love become almost unrecognizable. I haven't made a final decision yet. Technically, the wedding is still canceled, but the relationship isn't over. We're on kind of an emotional pause, I guess. He says he wants to make things right, and maybe he will. Maybe with time, I'll want to try that again. But right now, I still feel like I'm grieving something that ended, and I don't know if I'm ready to build it back from scratch. So I guess I'm now asking, am I overreacting if I walk away from this completely? Oh, well, here's the thing. It sounded like he didn't drink very often, just socially. If this is about a drinking problem and there's a bigger picture here and a bigger concern, then I understand you need some time to think about this. But if it truly was a drunken embarrassment, mistake, I'm sure there's no one who feels worse about it than he does. I think there's more to it here in the relationship that's making her question everything after that night. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. In my head this whole time, I'm picturing Matt trying on a wedding dress and shitting himself. Wow, a visual I never thought I'd have, and I hope I don't. Husband at another woman's house. I'm intrigued. My husband went out to a work happy hour last night and didn't get home until 5:30 a.m. I asked him when he got home where he had been after the bar closed, and he said his female colleague's house. What do you mean? Okay, let me keep reading. Joss. His coworker is married and has children, but her husband was not present or informed this was happening, nor was I. Said they only hung out and nothing physical happened. Still feels wrong to me, even if that's true. Yeah. Husband and female coworker have been friends for about 6 months. You don't even know someone in 6 months. Most of their WhatsApp messages are about politics or intellectual debates. Some of her messages to him could be flirty, but hard to tell. Husband maintains that they are just friends, and if it was a male, this would not be an issue at all. I told my husband it's me or her. Here are some texts between them. Oh, I can't wait for this. All right. LOL, I do think those can and are problems, but I think we generalize them too much. First of all, if I truly hated you because you were a white man, I wouldn't be texting you in my free time. Wink! Second, I do feel there's a distinction between the concept of white male privilege and have at times been subject to crappy, insecure behavior by white dudes and many of the actual white men I'm friends with. I don't inherently hate someone because they're a white man. It's only after I meet them and talk to them and understand how they think that I form a judgment. I probably have a bias going in if I'm being really honest, but I think, and many others, can discern well. Interesting topic. Nothing crazy. I'm questioning the wink. Okay, I have another proposition for you. LOL, lay it on me. Sing a duet with me at karaoke. We can pick the song now so we have time to practice. Wait, I thought that was the plan anyway as the drinks started flowing, haha. Yes, but let's pick the songs now so we have time to practice. The harmonies. LOL, I love how serious you are taking this. Okay, do you have any ideas? Need You Now is my best pick. Could that be symbolizing? We don't know. Continued. Hey, I know everything was innocent yesterday. Oh, so this happened after the sleepover. Hey, I know everything was innocent yesterday, but I'm feeling guilty that I came over there alone so late. Probably shouldn't have done that as it wasn't fair to blank, and I'm not sure if blank was upset by it or not. If he was, please give him my apologies. It's a bit weird having a friend of the opposite gender. She wrote back, hey, I totally get it. It is a bit of a gray area and I can definitely understand her not feeling comfortable with that. I haven't had a chance to even tell husband about my night, but if/when we chat, I promise you he knows me well enough to know it wasn't your idea. Anyways, I'm really sorry if that puts you in a bad spot with wife. Your relationship and commitments have to come first, and I know I will always respect that. Feel free to blame it on the shrooms and the mom that doesn't get out enough. We were on some mushrooms, were we? Having a little mushroom party alone. They're not flirty, to be honest. Like, I would read these and I'm like, I've seen flirty text messages, you know? These aren't them, and it's not it. But still, sketchy behavior. I don't like it still. Let's continue. Edit. To say more on the mushrooms. Oh, please do. From what I understand, the shrooms were planned ahead of time and taken while the team was still at the bar. I don't believe he went to her house with the intent to do mushrooms as they had already been consumed. Now, we do have an update. which came May 18th, yesterday. Today, when I'm recording, is May 19th. In case you didn't know, I film ahead. Answer to some common questions I've seen. Why WhatsApp? The entire team uses WhatsApp to message each other since some members are in different countries. I didn't even think of that. Did I message the husband? Yes, I did. No reply yet. Does my husband do mushrooms, or is this a one-off experience? He uses them a few times a year. What's the current update between me and my husband? He very much maintains they didn't do anything physical and are solely friends. We are taking time apart. He is very, very apologetic. We have some updated text messages. Thanks for understanding. I probably need to cut back on some of the non-work communications we have to make sure that my relationship stays in a good spot. And I hope that doesn't make anything weird at work, as I don't want to mess up the great team dynamic we have. I'm interpreting that to mean it turned into something bigger between you two, and if so, I'm really sorry about that. And of course, totally understand. I'll just have to find someone else to ponder the masculinity and capitalism with. Wink face. But seriously, you do what you need to do and we will be good. No stress or drama from me. Hi, you don't know me, but I'm the wife. Oh my God, this is what she sent her, the husband. Hi, blank. You don't know me, but I'm the wife of one of your wife's coworkers. Yesterday, my husband came home at 5:30 a.m. after spending the night at your house. There are a lot of details I've yet to receive, but I know him and her were alone from 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. I feel very disrespected and hurt that he would do this, and absolutely understand they are both at fault. I was wondering if you were aware that this happened, especially in your own home. I was not made aware, and I am not okay with this behavior from either of them. Man, I really want to know what husband's saying about this, because he was out of town. Like, are you going to invite him over if your husband was home? That's what I want to know. If your husband was home, are you inviting him over to hang out? I doubt it. I doubt it. We are hopping on hydration station because I'm getting a little worked up over here. Grab your beverage of choice, but I will encourage you to take a sip of water. It's good for you. Cheers. Am I overreacting? I think my girlfriend might be cheating on me through her Dungeons and Dragons game. I, 27 male, have been going out with my girlfriend, 25 female, for almost 4 years, and we've been living together for a few months. She's funny and wonderful and kind, and honestly pretty much everything I ever wanted in a girl. She's also a bit of a D&D type nerd, which I don't think is a bad thing. It's good that she has her own friends and her hobbies. She tried getting me into it, but I don't really get it. She tried teaching me about D&D, but there were just too many weird rules and dice. And she does love her hobby. She gets very excited about her weekly games and sometimes tells me about the epic adventures they go on, which admittedly sounds pretty fun secondhand, but is not really for me. We live in a 2-bedroom apartment, so we have a bedroom and a home office we share, where our laptops are. Her D&D games are online and usually happen in the evening, so I just hang out in the living room or go out when she plays to not intrude. But a few weeks ago, I noticed that she locks the door when she plays. I thought it was a little weird because why would you lock the door to play D&D? And it didn't sit right with me. So I did what I now think might have been very sad and pathetic, but I genuinely didn't know what else to do. The last few weeks when she had her game, I sat out in the hall by the door and listened. She uses headphones, so I could only really hear her side of the game, and at first it was just some stuff about rolling dice, joking around with her friends, and spells doing whatever, but I kept at it. I sat there for 4 hours last week and over 2 hours this week, but eventually I heard it. She was talking about / with another person, and it was really romantic. It was tender and very emotional. She legit said something like, "You know I love you, so I want to help you save your family," or something like that, in a clearly romantic way. It went on like that, like a clearly emotional discussion with a romantic partner that lasted a solid 15 minutes. Then it went back to other stuff, but by that point, it didn't matter. I was really upset and went back to the living room. When she came out after the session,
I confronted her.
I told her I heard her talking and telling some guy how much she loved him and how he was the only one who ever got through to her or something, so she would do anything for him. She said I was taking it out of context and that it was just pretending and playing a character, but I told her it didn't matter. This wasn't some video game where your character was speaking written lines to another character with written lines who wasn't real. She herself was saying sweet, loving, romantic things to another real person, and it hurt to hear. It felt like cheating. She said it wasn't cheating, and her character wasn't her. She just did it for the drama and thought being romantically invested made her character better. She also said that me sitting outside to listen in on her game was a violation of her privacy and showed that I didn't trust her, which was why she felt like she needed to lock the door in the first place. I apologized for that, but at the same time, I said that me being wrong to eavesdrop doesn't justify what she did, to which she said that she didn't do anything wrong. It was just the way the game was, and it was just a game. But that made me feel even worse. Maybe I'm being whiny or misreading it, but she is the first person I was ever really vulnerable with like that. And the way she spoke to me when she told me how much she loved me, it was just so similar to the way she spoke as her character, and it made me uncomfortable. It made me feel like something that was only mine and only for me was just given to someone else for a game. It felt like it cheapened it. Was she faking it with me? Was she genuinely feeling it for that other person? I don't know what exactly it is that's bothering me, because technically she's not wrong, but I don't care if she's technically not cheating. I just feel like there are certain sides of my girlfriend that should be reserved only for me. Shouldn't there? I couldn't really verbalize it to her, and after a bunch of arguing back and forth, I just went to bed. For the past few days, we've been in this weird state of limbo where we're going on like nothing happened, but also there's clearly tension. Today I couldn't take it anymore and I said we need to talk about it. I said that I understand her hobbies are important to her, but I am her boyfriend and there should be certain things that are just for me. I can't go on knowing that she's talking like that to some other guy. So I told her that I will support her going on those games, but I asked that she no longer lock the door and no longer do whatever romantic stuff she does in the game. She said I didn't mind when she talked to me at length about her romance with that Asturian guy in Baldur's Gate. She said I was being possessive and controlling and that I can't tell her to not have hobbies or how to behave. I told her that's true, but if she doesn't understand how I feel about this, we might not have a future together. She got angrier and said I'm clearly not in a state to be having this discussion and we'll talk again when I've calmed down. And went to school. She's getting her MA. But in the time since, I've been doing the opposite of calming down. I just get more upset the more I think about it. Clearly me being upset should at least make her consider stopping, even if she isn't actually cheating outright. Shouldn't my feelings matter more on the issue? But also, maybe I'm not being reasonable. Maybe I am overreacting. Help! I don't know anything about video games, okay? I know what D&D is. Never played a day in my age, but if you guys, gamers out there, do you have an opinion? I want to hear it in the comments. You might understand it better, the characters and the game and all that. We do have an update though. So having read the comments y'all gave, I thought I maybe was actually overreacting and I really did F up. Especially helpful, I thought, was a comment someone made about asking her about maybe keeping the door unlocked and being allowed to listen in on a session to get context and learn to accept her hobby and let her still enjoy it without me spiraling. So when she came home from school, I made an apology dinner, homemade pizza from scratch, her fave, and we sat down to talk. She started by demanding an apology because whatever else I had to say, eavesdropping and not trusting her were huge F-ups on my part. I agreed and apologized immediately because that was crappy behavior on my part, no question. That helped her to be more open to hearing me out. So I said more calmly and tactfully that it bothers me that she is simulating romantic love with a person I don't know in a context that I don't understand. I said that I can and do apologize for my actions, but I can't change how I feel, and that also needs to be discussed. So she asked what I had in mind. I told her that I think trust should go both ways. So I trust that the game is just a game and it doesn't mean anything and it's well and good, but in return, I'd like for her to keep the door unlocked and let me sit in on a few sessions. I feel like her response could be very telling of something. I promised not to be disruptive, not to overreact or interrupt the game, and to bring up any issues I had privately with her after the game was over. She seemed relieved because she was worried I'd demand she drop the game or break up with her, and said she personally didn't mind, but she needed to bring it up with her group, which I thought was very reasonable. I'm not a gamer, but I don't know. This feels like I'm listening to a teenager's story. But hey, I just don't understand the games. The rest of the evening, though, she was constantly on her phone, constantly getting Discord notifications, and seemed more and more upset. This lasted for literally hours, well into the night, past when I was asleep. I asked if anything was wrong, and she said maybe, but not to wait up, and she promised to tell me everything in the morning. I didn't get much sleep, but I also didn't want to pry too much, having just promised not to. So come morning, when I asked what happened, since she clearly didn't get much sleep and was clearly nervous, she said she brought it up with the group and reactions were mixed. I'm gonna give these people fake names to keep track. So when she brought it up, everyone seemed okay with me listening in except Joe. Joe is the guy whose character she had the romance with. Shocker. Joe said in their group chat that he wouldn't feel safe acting, they call it role-playing, I guess, when there was a stranger in the chat, and wouldn't participate in any game that I was present for. This obviously made my girlfriend respond that seeing the relationship between their characters was the whole point of me listening in, to which he said I'm being unreasonable and violating his boundaries by making unreasonable demands.
What is going on?
I'll be damned the day a video game, chat, and group trumps feelings with my partner. I don't know, maybe that's just me. This was already pretty bad in my eyes, but then she told me about the private messages. After the group exchange, she got 3 messages. One was from Joe. Joe wrote a long, really long message about how much he cared about and how much it hurt him to see her dim her light to appease a controlling, abusive boyfriend who stifled her creativity, and how she should be with someone who appreciated her, let her be herself, and shared her interests, and that he was available if she wanted to talk. So Joe has feelings for her, loves this romance they have going on, and is pissed that boyfriend is now involved. Got it. He finished with a paragraph about how women like her always go for selfish a-holes and don't appreciate the wonderful guys all around them. How he felt such a connection with her through their characters, and how could she ignore it? I genuinely couldn't believe I was seeing one of these in the wild. I don't usually get secondhand embarrassment, but that crap was so cringe I almost died. Like, I genuinely laughed. I couldn't really be angry. That stuff was just so sad. We talked a bit more, and she now seems to agree that locking the door in context might have seemed suspicious, and that going forward our ground rule should be that character dynamics that make her feel like she should lock the door might be the exact dynamics she should make me aware of, which I promised to trust her to tell me these things and to not eavesdrop anymore, and approach her openly about listening in on sessions. Also, the romance with Joe's character isn't going to continue, but seeing how she feels about Joe now, I think I do trust her to do character romance going forward, just not to hide it from me and be selective with who she does it with. I'm gonna keep my thoughts to myself on that. I don't know how the Joe situation is going to be handled within the group, but I guess that's up to them, since playing with him is obviously going to be very awkward for her. Guess since she doesn't intend to keep up the romance, it doesn't really matter. Oh, well, if she's not going to continue those conversations, then sure. Small edit since the situation basically resolved itself. Joe didn't like being left on red, so he wrote my girlfriend a very rude message about how, I kid you not, she was going to die alone with cats because her a-hole boyfriend is going to leave her when she loses her looks. He literally never saw her in person, to be clear, uncovering my secret plan, I guess. So she just blocked him and sent a screenshot to Mitch, another friend. Joe isn't going to be part of the group anymore. Girlfriend apologized for not recognizing how absolutely unhinged this guy was. We reasserted that any in-game interaction she isn't comfortable having in front of me is probably one she shouldn't be happening. Well, I'm glad it all worked out. Let me know how you guys feel on this one. I'll see you in the comment section. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy.